Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune Snow, and today we'll be doing Let's Talk Legendary. We'll be talking about Akim, the soaring wind creature. So Akim is a dinosaur that can fly and is from the plane of Ikara. Akim had become an orphan when it had hatched. Luckily for Akim, a flock of birds had adopted Akim and treated it as one of their own. As Akim is a flying dinosaur and now fully grown, it has become the leader of the flock. As a result of that, because Akim is a dinosaur and the leader of the flock, this flock has become more aggressive under his leadership. And that is actually all the information we have on Akim, unfortunately. So Akim is actually represented in one card, which you saw throughout the video, and it's surprisingly expensive. I don't know how this is legendary, but it's for 2 colors and 3 colors. It's a 3/4 flyer. It says when you create one or more tokens for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white bird token with flying. Then you got to pay 3 colors and 3 colors to make those tokens have double strike. So it could work, but I don't know how that is legendary. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone, and today we'll be doing Let's Talk Legendary. And today we'll be talking about Archelos, the Lagoon Mystic. So Archelos is actually from a plane of an unknown origin, but part of some kind of turtle folk, as you can see in the picture. Archelos is so old that he does not remember how old he actually is. He forgot his age roughly a few centuries ago. He spends most of his time in his shell meditating. He does spend some time in the marsh where he lives. Archelos actually has immense power. If you ask him a simple question, even if it's like a yes or no, it can even take longer than an hour to even answer that question. Because of Archelos' immense power, people are actually quite drawn toward him or the marsh that he lives in, except for a rabbit named Quain, who somehow he seems to be immune to that. Quain likes to really annoy Archelos, but Archelos tries to remember that he will outlive Quain, so not to be too annoyed. And that is actually all the information at the time of this video that we have on him. And now let's move on to the cards that he's associated with. And believe it or not, Archelos is only represented in one card, and one card only from the Commander series. And it costs 4 mana for this 2/4. And it's like life ... is not ... a race. Or as you can tell, you will answer very slowly. I really like this picture of this turtle shaman. It's just really cool. And when it comes to tapped, other permanents enter the battlefield tap. As long as he is untapped, other permanents enter the battlefield untapped. So it's kind of annoying, but 3 colors, that's too much. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone. Today we'll be going over Let's Talk Legendary. But today we'll be talking about Aron Capuchin. So Aron Capuchin is actually a human who was later transformed into a Phyrexian form on the plane of Dominaria. He was born in Benelia, on the continent of Arona. Before Aron was actually turned into a Phyrexian, he was the head of the clan Capuchin as the leader of Benelia. He wore many silks with his armor that represented 7 colored windows and the embroidered Capuchin Tower. He is the father of 2 famous planeswalkers known as Danitha and Raph Capuchin. If you recognize the name Capuchin, well, Aron is actually a distant relative of Gerard Capuchin. As a leader, he went to the summit of Oyster Bay. This is where he wanted to delegate peace between them and the Keld in the year of 4562 AR. With the delegation almost over, actually Teferi and Karn interrupted that and said that a new Phyrexian invasion was imminent. While preparing for the coming battle, there were Phyrexian sleeper agents that posed as Benishlish Knights. These sleeper agents were able to take away Aron to be completed by the Phyrexians. Ajani was in pursuit of them but had lost them. Urte took it personally to see Aron's completion to show how powerful New Phyrexia is. But after all this, eventually Aron's daughter Danitha had to kill him, and that is all the information in his sad ending to Aron Capuchin. So you've seen throughout the video, Aron is actually represented in 1 card only. There's nothing mentioning outside of this 1 card at the time of this video. So it's Aron Benelio's Rune. For this 3/3, it has Menace, and then sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter for each creature you control. So it's not too bad, nothing great about this card, but it is nice to know that we have a picture of what Aron does look like. So I hope you enjoy the video, and have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone, and today we'll be doing Let's Talk Legendary. And well, today we're going to be talking about Cormela, the Glamour Thief. So Cormela is a vampire who was born on the plane of Capena. She lives a life of glamour and grace. She is actually the curator of the Park Heights, and of course, she has her own gallery. She follows Lord Xander. As a result of her being a curator, she quite often rotates her collection, often with many artists coming to her to see what she thinks of their work as her being the curator. She is considered to be one of the new Capita's top artists. Cormela also has another side to her. She can steal any piece of artwork for Lord Xander without ever being noticed. Believe it or not, most of the people she actually steals from are people not completing contracts with Lord Xander. And currently, this is all the information we have on Cormela at the moment. So Cormela is actually represented in one card and one card only. This uncommon card. I said that quite a bit because I can't believe it. It only costs 4 mana for this 2/4 with a haste, but it does say add blue, black, or red. Spell this ability only cast an instant or sorcery. So they could be really good potential, and it does say return up to one target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard if she dies. So it's not too bad, but considering it's a 2/4, it's not very powerful. And again, this is all the information we have on her when it comes to cards being printed. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune Snow. Today we're doing Let's Talk Legendary, and we'll be talking about the famous Danitha Capuchin. That's right, if you recognize that name. So as I had mentioned, if you recognized her name, she is a distant relative of the famous Gerard Capuchin. She is a human who is currently living on the plane of Dominaria. She is the daughter of the famous legendary Phyrexian human called Aron, or also known as Aron Benelia's Ruin. Her family is the highest house in Benelia, on the continent of Ararona. She is also part of the group of Benelish knights who shows great warrior skills. She actually shaves the side of her head so that her helmet and her armor can fit better on her head. Because of her skills and her family ties, at an early age, Johora, the planeswalker, had asked her to join the Weatherlight crew. She, of course, refused this offer to help fight the cabal that were fighting in her region. But as a result of her refusal, her brother Raph, her younger brother, had joined the crew. When Danitha was older, she discovered that her father was captured by the Phyrexian. So because when she found this out, she was able to acquire some help from the planeswalker Ajani Goldmane and Jaya Ballard to rescue him. Sadly, when she was about to rescue him, he was already been captured and completed by the Phyrexians. So the only thing she could think of was to kill him and become the leader of House Capuchin. After she had did that, she was actually able to be present for the Battle of the Manarig, and right now that is currently all the information we have on her at the moment, and I assume there'll be more in the future as this seems like there's no end to the story. So Danitha is actually represented in 2 cards, the first one being from Dominaria United, and as you've seen throughout the entire video, it costs 5 mana for a 4/4, first strike, life, link, vigilance. And when there's the battlefield, we put an aura or equipment card from your graveyard onto the battlefield and attach it. So it's a really interesting card, that is for sure. And just like the other card, it's first strike, vigilance, lifelink for 2/2 for this commander card. And equipment spells, you cost 1 less to cast, unlike the other one with the attachment. This one is 2 cast, which is really cool for 3 mana as well. And there are 2 cards that she is depicted in, this first one being Heroic Charge. And, well, quite obviously, there it is in the picture. She's also represented in Join Forces, and again, just like the other one, there is the picture of her on the left. Next few cards are before is that she's quoted or referred to, and this one is, he may look like my father, but the man I knew and loved is gone. Danitha. Next is we have Heroes Heirloom. You're going to see a lot of these cards from Dominaria. They really emphasized her in this series, and the saying is, the blade is just a tool. Its power comes from the hand that wields it. Next we have is Charge. Honor rides before us. All we have to do is catch up. That's a really cool saying. And last but not least, we have Lightning Strike from Dominaria as well. It says Danitha watched in shock as the electricity lands from Jaya's fingertips, obliterating the charging Phyrexians. What? Said the pyromancer serenely. I told you, I learned some new tricks. And that is all the cards and information we have on her, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune. So today we'll be talking about the infamous Drafna, founder of Latnam. So Drafna is a human from the plane of Dominaria, and believe it or not, Drafna has existed since the series of Antiquity, so it's really cool that they were able to finally bring out this legendary card for this, and there is very little information on him. We do know, as we just said, he's from Dominaria, but he's from a place called Latnam on the islands of Terraceria. As you can also guess correctly, he is the leader and co-founder of the College of Latnam. Drafna could make anything work, from the smallest of artifacts that could be discovered, or newly discovered. But Hercule, his wife, was the one who actually created the spells to help his husband's work. And that is all the little information we have on Drafna at the moment. So as I just mentioned earlier in the video, he's finally represented in the Brothers' War. Drafna is the founder of Latnam, and this cool card only costs 2 mana for this 2/1. And it says return target artifact you control to its own hand, or copy target artifact spell you control. So that's really cool, and he has a wife, so this card is really interesting in how they bring out old characters into the Brothers' War. And mentioned earlier in the video as well, we got Drafna's Restoration from the series of Antiquities, and it costs 1 mana for this sorcery, and it's really cool because Drafna, founder of the College of Latnam, could create a working model from even the smallest remnants of a newly unearthed artifact. And you can put those artifacts from your graveyard on top of the library. It says player, so it could be anyone. So this is a really cool card. So there are 3 cards that Drafna is actually quoted or referred to, and this one being Chromatic Lantern from the Brothers' War series. And it says, Felden's lattice discovery appears to draw upon the same memories of the land. My wife studied, how I wish she could see it. Writings of Drafna. Then we have another card from Antiquities. It's actually really cool. It's Hercule's Recall. And then it goes by. The spell was attributed to Drafna, was actually the work of his wife, Hercule. And the last card is Runechanter's Pike from Brothers' War. Its harmonic resonance infusions amplify the natural abilities of the song mages of Symphia. Drafna research notes. So that's really cool. I really hope we do see more of Drafna in the future of the Magic world. I'm really cool that they're able to bring him back. And I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Runestone. Today we will be doing Let's Talk Legendary. Today we won't be talking about a creature or a planeswalker. We'll be talking about Eiganjo, the castle. So Eiganjo Castle is actually located on the planet of Kamigawa, located on the Tawabera Plains in Araba. Eiganjo means actually Eternal Rock Castle. The castle was first around during the Kami War. It was the seat of power for the Konda family, most notably Takeshia and Mikihito. This castle was protected by the Kami, known as the Kodai, which has 2 other names, known as the Taken One or that which was taken. Because of the Kami, the castle was actually able to survive during the Kami War, but after the war, 2 Kami had actually battled after the castle and eventually destroyed what was there during the sharing battle. The castle was eventually rebuilt during the Neon Dynasty. In this location, there was a mix of ancient structures with new buildings. The shrine of the Kodai is actually located at this location. The castle is where high-ranking officials work. There are many things and places around this castle, such as the Sakura Gardens, the Emperor's Garden, Kodai Temple, which I mentioned before, the Golden Tail Temple, and of course, there's a town called Eigan Town, which is built around the castle. There's also called the Mirogo Gates. These are artifacts that allow the Kami to travel to the spiritual world. Some famous people that actually lived at the castle would be like the Pearl Ear, Mikogo Kanda, Takeshi Kanda, the Wanderer even actually, Light Pulse, or Kato Shizuku. And that is actually all the information we have on the castle at the moment. So Eiganjo Castle is actually represented in 2 cards, this first one being Legendary Land from Champions of Kamigawa. It says 1, prevent the next 2 damage will be dealt to target legendary creature this turn, so it's not a very impressive card, but I really do like the artwork. So the next one we have is just the Seat of Empire. As you've seen throughout the video, it deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature, and it's from the Neon Dynasty set. It still adds the white mana, and that's about really it for this card. Next are a few cards that are associated with the Eiganjo Castle, and this one is, well, an example of it is the Exemplar. As you can see in the top left, that's the card for basically it's associated with. Next card associated with the Eiganjo Castle is Konda. As you've heard throughout the video, is that he is a samurai shaman that is actually part of the castle and the reigning family Marak. Next is we got the Free Riders. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. They just fly around guarding that castle. They are filled with dust and sound of wing beats. The mother riders had journeyed half fray. The next such card you've seen is the Restoration, is basically when I was talking about the destruction and then the castle being rebuilt, and this would be the card that would describe such a thing. And the last card that the castle is associated with is the Uprising, and there was a story about certain groups of people, like two different visions of freedom clash at the gates of the Imperial Palace. So as you can see in the picture, there is obviously some kind of big uprising at the castle. So now we're going to go to cards that are referred to the castle, and this one is being the Arabelle Moth Rider. It says, my finest creations are fashioned after the moths of Eiganjo. They fly higher, faster, and more gracefully than any of my own designs. And you can see in the Neon Dynasty, when you flip those enchantment cards, you get those moths. And as mentioned just actually in the previous card, is Befriending the Moths. So this card, when it says exile, return the battle transformed, and you get the moths which are associated with the castle. And the next card is Mother Rider Samurai, and it says, when the night blossoms, open up the wings of Eiganjo, take flight. Next card we have is Descendant of the Kiyomaro. It says, the blood of Kiyomaro flows in the veins. He did not let Eiganjo fall, and neither shall I. Next is we have Shrine Steward. It says, from the broken swords, the first Imperials forged a peaceful servant to tend to the shrines of Eiganjo. Next we have is the Devoted Retainer, and that's pretty obvious with the name in itself. It says, deep within Eiganjo Castle lay the palace of the infinite halls, a seamless, endless network of corridors once guarded by the seemingly endless legion of the samurai. Next we have is the Sky Blessed Samurai. It says, Imperial Samurai who show exceptional honor and dexterity are invited to train as Mother Riders, elite guards charged with protecting the skies of Eiganjo. Then we got Dragonfly Suits. So we got Cutting Edge Imperial Sentinel Max Patrol the Sky. So they're really all about protecting this castle in the skies, as well as with all those moths. Next we have a Spirited Companion, which is actually, at the time of this video, very popular in the standard rotation. It says, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. She formed a friendship with several playful spirits, and soon the pack was known as the source of much mischief in Eiganjo. Oh, that's hilarious. Then we got Golden Tail Disciple. It says, students of the Kitsune-led Golden Tail Academy in Eiganjo are unparalleled in both martial skill and dedication to the imperial cause. And then we have Stone Rain from the Champion set. It says, the Kami struck easily with gouts of fire, showers of rock, and the combined range of the spirit world. Only Eiganjo Castle remained standing, glistening, untouched in the sun. And the last card we're just going to go over is the Hail of Arrows. It says, do not let a single shaft loose until my word. And when I give that word, do not leave a single shaft in Eiganjo. General Takenio. And that is all the information we have on the castle. All the cards at the time of this video are associated with. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.